It's that time of
Welcome
year
to D Tarot
again.
by
It's getting to be
Spirit.
Thanksgiving. It's getting to be Christmas. And you've got a rather large home where your family likes to come together because there's plenty
Welcome to
of
D
room.
Tarot by
There's
Spirit.
plenty of places to put people. They can bring guests when they come. It's either a two-story or it's a large sprawling place, but there's lots of
Welcome to D
bedrooms and
Tarot by
lots of places
Spirit.
to put people. And so, starting with Thanksgiving and then with the holidays, people a lot of times have a lot of guests in their home. And so, this is a
Welcome to D
warning for
Tarot
those
by
people who are
Spirit.
having guests. And it's a beautiful spiritual warning because it's a way to avoid all problems altogether. It's a way for the highest good to take place for everyone involved. And it's really just a beautiful, it's almost a gift. It's almost a pre-holidays gift for anyone who may be in this circumstance that you're having a hand reach out and say, this is who you are and this is how you're going to handle this. And this is the way it's going to come out the best for everybody. So, welcome to D in Spirit, and we're going to get started with the reading. Hi, this is D in Spirit. Welcome back to all the new subscribers. Thank you so much for subscribing and for coming along this journey with me. Welcome to all the new Mary Magdalene. We've got a High Priestess and Empress combo that is going to be heavy in this collective. If you want to check out one of the last readings I did, was about the collective, and it was a strong and beautiful collective of that combination. So, welcome everybody. And if you're new here, thank you for joining me and coming and taking part. So, this is going to be a reading for really the holidays, is how I'm looking at this reading. Just the general holiday atmosphere that we're looking at. Let me see. I'm going to use the Tarot of the Divine for these first cards. We'll ask Spirit to give us a look very quickly. So we have the Strength card and the Seven of Swords. So in the Seven of Swords card, I'll show them to you. That's the Seven of Swords in this deck. And I'll cut in a little thing to tell you about the character that's in the Tarot of the Divine. And then your Strength card. And I've told before, this is the character that's in the movie Brave, and this is the fairy tale that it's from. So it's a woman; she's quite determined. And then we have this trickery card. We've got the Seven of Swords with the Strength card. So beware during this season of Christmas, and particularly in this time of AI generated images and things like that, and bots that are like hidden channels like these, or other tarot channels, or other places that you may go. Beware of that during the holiday season. There's always a lot of people out there trying to find very creative ways to make a living at your expense. And so we definitely want to make sure that during this holiday season, with the new technologies that are out, that we're very wary of anything that comes to us via that route. And especially if it's something we're not familiar with, if we're not familiar with doing it that way, if you're not familiar with buying things online, if you don't already have something set up, then Christmas is probably not the time to do that, right? So just anything you haven't already messed with before, please beware. The card of Strength tells me that you're very savvy about these things, and you kind of know when to beware. Okay, so we have the Four of Cups reversed. I've never gotten this card in this deck. It's a really pretty card. Okay, we're going to start with the first card, just looking at the specifics. This is our Strength card in the Tarot of the Divine. This is from a Scottish fairy tale. It's about willpower and determination, focus, persistence, and the ability to confidently stare any challenge in the face and overcome it. This is not physical strength, but a purity of heart and purpose. Courage, conviction, control, determination, and patience. And this is where you're at right now, because this card came out with, so you have this ability, and this card came out with the Seven of Swords, which I will tell you about right now, which is the trickster archetype. This is just in general strategy, cunning, thievery, cheating, and manipulation. The coyote represents deceit in all forms, from small pranks to terrible scandals. He is clever and manipulative, but more often than not, he gets caught in his own scheme. So it's a lot like Coyote and the Red Runner. Um, and he has to pay dearly for them. So you've got somebody that is probably not even that great at doing the scheming part, as long as you're not walking into it just blindly with no, like, with a timidness, because the strength card tells me you would not walk into something of any kind with a timidness. And so the thing you just have to be aware of, given your strength in this situation, is that you just have to stay away from those things, like I said, that aren't tried and tested, that you may not know yet how. You may not have taken that class yet, you may have learned that thing yet. So you only have to worry about that which you don't know about, which could come back and bite you simply because you're not sure about it. So then we have our Four of Cups, but it's in the reverse. So this that is telling me that this Seven of Swords, this trickster, is only going to be able to move given the opportunity, the motivation, and then restlessness and boredom. So given that, and it is the holiday season, and you might have people in your home that you don't usually have in your home. You may have kids in your home that may be restless and bored, and if it wasn't for the fact that they were pilfering, they may not do anything wrong. So do keep that in mind as you and deal with this, confront this situation head on if it is in the home. Be willing to stare that teenager, whoever, in the eye and be very serious about it, and be this strength right here so that you can protect your stuff, your belongings, and not have it blow up into a major family feud in the middle of Christmas over. And if you can, try to make sure that there's just not a ton of downtime. Try to, that boredom and restlessness. Try to somehow work around that boredom and restlessness to keep that from happening around your household. So this collective may be having a good bit of company over Christmas, that they're not people that they're not maybe familiar with all of them. You may have family members that have people they brought with them that they're dating, or they just married, or it might be just teenagers in general. And just again, that restlessness. It's almost like classroom control. Okay, we'll take them that way. It's almost like classroom control, that if you don't get it to begin with, you're not going to get it back. So you might want to start on the offset getting that to begin with. So for this, we have, yeah, we're good. Okay. The Six of Swords and the Wheel of Fortune, which both flipped upside down on me. Because if this plan, whatever this person's trying to concoct, and this is just my initial from looking at the two cards, if this plan that they're trying to concoct was to be met with success, which is the Six of Swords, it's going to turn their Wheel of Fortune the wrong way. If it's a teenager and it goes bad and it ends up with the cops called or something crazy like that, it's going to go badly for them in a Wheel of Fortune sort of way. So let's also look at these cards in detail and see what these characters are. Okay, I've verified the cards, and that is exactly what the situation is. Your Six of Swords here is Danae and Perseus. In the reverse, this is about feeling trapped in instability, abuse, and unresolved issues. There could be abuse involved in a home that maybe needs to be taken into consideration, but in general, this is trapped and instability. And then this Wheel of Fortune card, your Wheel of Fortune, this is also a trickster god. So, in a very broad sense, that the completion of this trick, if it's completed successfully with this Six of Swords, should that card have been upright and it be completed successfully, then this person is looking at bad luck, a lack of control from the past, misery and disappointment. So this mark on their past, this mark as a juvenile, or I think it's probably that, this mark on them would follow them forever and haunt them and mess their world up. So it's important that you be on guard, not just because it's your stuff, but because we don't ever know what kids are facing in general at home, like what they're dealing with, and they can be called to act out when it's not about selling. It's not, you don't know what the motivation is. And sometimes just one stern rebuke from the very strong head of the household can be enough for that child to subdue themselves in that circumstance at that time. If they want to get in trouble, they can do it later at somebody else's house, with somebody else's stuff. Well, that seems to be a very pointed message coming up for the holiday season. Let me see, what else do we need to? I would like to. I do want to look at a Jesus card related to this reading, related to this possible troubled youngster. It looks like that might be in someone's home or around someone's home, or troubled young adult, or some situation that looks like that. If we could have a Jesus word card on that one, that would be great too. Great. Okay. We've been getting this one a lot lately. Whatsoever you shall ask the Father in my name, he will give it to you. Ask for protection. Ask for the knowledge to be given to you when this is happening, so that you can grab it like unreasonably fast, so that will be a startle factor as well. The Comforter, which is the Holy Spirit, whom the Father will send in my name, he will teach you all things. So he's going to show you. You might want to watch between now and Christmas, be watching things like that. If you're a woman alone over 50, be watching things that will help you be more aware of scams and things. I mean, I'm not saying overdo it or become anxious about it, but I am saying if you give him the opportunity, he will teach you the things you need to know to keep yourself safe. If you ask for him to show you, then my full expectation is that something that's going to pop up in your feed regarding your age and Christmas. Watch it, because you'll be given the things that you need to deal with this particular situation. And I certainly, since this is such a very specific read, we'll do another one here pretty quick, maybe in just a minute. But this one I think is important, because I think that there is probably, I think your reaction to it and the way that you process it as a person after the fact may be a lot different because you heard this reading to begin with, because otherwise you may not understand it to be the spirit of the spiritual importance that it is. You may just be processing it on a those darn kids sort of level, but really it could be something important for this kid's future. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away. Matthew 24:35. That was weird. It's like a blank card in there. Okay. And a blank card. Alright, not blank card. Scripture, please. You might want to consider part of your time that you don't want people left at the house by themselves, whatever, is insisting that like everybody go to Advent service, insisting that everybody go to Christmas Eve service, so that there's not people left there, until midnight at the house. Just think about things like that. Lean upon the word to help you with this as well, because those things are strong and can be depended on. And then also, keep your eyes open for words from the Spirit about what you need to watch out for. He that overcometh shall inherit all things, and I will be his son, his God, and he shall be my son. Revelation 21:7. Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Matthew 11:28. During Christmas time, this is a call to not forget to worship, to renew your soul, because everybody gets to running around and crazy and going to programs and doing all sorts of things for Christmas, and we sometimes forget those most important parts. And some churches seem to do less Christmas on Christmas because it's Christmas, and that all is kind of over my head how that works. But it's a good thing to go to church, and if your church doesn't do Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, then find another church that does, and maybe choose to worship this year instead of just doing family things. Maybe choose to do both. God and his son. We're looking for the coming of Emmanuel. And it is getting to be that time to lean on the word. It shall not pass away. All right, I'm going to do one. I'm going to do one angel card for this particular reading as well. That involves this household. I am envisioning a two-story house. Come in the door and there's a stairway that goes straight, kind of straight up. There's enough room to fit, a good many people in this place, and it looks like there's a pretty reasonable gathering plan for this year, and it may even be people that don't usually take part in your family gatherings. So you may have people that, it's just strangers that you don't know, you don't assume anything about. But on the other hand, if you just kind of, if you assume nothing bad will happen, then you won't notice anything should you need to notice something. Are we going to have an angel card? If we don't, that's fine. If we don't, that's fine. There we go. Organize for success. That may also be really important. It's more inviting to people to dig through your stuff when it's not organized. It's more inviting. So if there's stuff everywhere, and that stuff that's everywhere includes money or jewelry or medicine or things that people, that is putting a stumbling block also. And that's another thing to consider. It's putting a stumbling block in front of someone who may, again, have their own things going on and may not be able to walk past that. And so that leaves you as a tempter for not having your stuff organized and put up and taken care of in such a way that someone who's coming in your home for the holidays who doesn't really know you might be tempted, and they would not be. So do not let the word organize intimidate you, as it is simply a way for you to ensure clarity of purpose. Organizing your thoughts, your reports, your living and workspace, and your finances will help you know and plan your next action steps. No, don't have wads of 20s laying everywhere because you forgot you went and got it. Be thoughtful about how you deal with your money. Be thoughtful during the hustle and bustle and the rush of everything, where you sit things, where you keep stuff, and whether or not you're keeping things organized, where you would know if anything did happen. I think that it looks like a situation. Strength came out first, and the Six of Swords is reversed. Okay, so that tells me that you're a strong and outspoken person, that you're not going to be afraid to boom look somebody in the eye and be like, why is that door open? And you really, and because of that, I don't think this thing is ever going to occur. Because of that, I think you're going to know it's the moment it was going to occur, but it's not going to occur because you heard this reading. You need to be looking out for it. And you have the Spirit's words that he's going to speak to you about what you need to see in order to get in front of this thing. So if I don't see you again, which I hope I do, happy holidays, whether it's Thanksgiving, which will be my birthday, which I'm excited about, and Christmas, and hopefully I'll be seeing you again. Again, thank you to the new subscribers. Anybody that's here for the first time, if you've made it this far, please subscribe. We try to just be really helpful on this channel, just really roll out whatever is helpful for people to know as they go about their overall life and existence. Whatever will be a blessing. That's what we try to be on the in spirit. So it's good to see you, and I will see you next read. Bye.